Alright, so the purpose of this video is to talk about how can we be consistent actually when it comes to being consistent with our content creation journey. So it basically applies to everything we do. I mean, we all lack a bit of consistency in a lot of stuff that we do. So this is a general, I would say, frame of thought, you would say, that I use to usually be consistent with my routines. Let's go over each one of them. And yeah, as you know, because you clicked on this video, as you know from the title and the thumbnail, in this specific case we're talking about how to be consistent when you're trying to build a personal brand on your own, basically. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, let me go over this pen. How much time do you have? How much time do you have? All right. So it's a very important question to ask yourself. So you have to really sit down and calculate this stuff. So this is a very useful thing because I usually do this. I usually base everything that I plan based on amount of time. So this is a very nice thing to have, that you have to decide that certain amount of time is going to be dedicated to your content creation. Whether it's if you're totally on your own and you have to even edit it yourself, which is what I do. It's not a greatest quality, but we'll get there. Why is that? So yeah, you have to know that what amount of time you have to spend on your videos, and you have to decide that. That's just the thing. And you have to be decisive. What I mean by decisive may seem cliche, but I don't think it is. But it's important. See, when you sit down and map out like a 10-hour week for example doing something, a new routine, for example, making 2 shorts a day, right? You do that, but when it's time to actually sit down and do it, it's a lot harder. So you have to decide it, and yeah, now we'll get there. We're gonna come back here again about being decisive. Don't care about the results, chip away instead. Alright, straight up, it takes time. So if you have, for example, a 3 months plan to do something, plan it out 3 months and then do not care about it, and just put it away. Just and do not look back. Yeah, just keep going, and just every single day you just chip away. See if you're lacking confidence in front of the camera, if you're want to do better edits, or anything you want to actually like improve on, try to improve day by day instead of every single day worrying about why you're not getting any results. But it's very cliche what I just said, I just realized, but the point in it is that let's say that 2 hours, that 2 hours is not easy, okay? And at the time that you're gonna do it, that you're gonna have to, it's 4 p.m. and you're about to record the video and then edit it down, okay? It's an active effort, and it's not the easiest thing to do. So you're most likely than less likely to procrastinate on it, right? So it's very important to, again, be decisive, what we're talking about in the first section, so you know that that's gonna happen. So yeah, chip away, and be aware that, for example, 3 months is 90 days. And for example, let's say 2 hours. 2 hours for 90 days is a lot of time to chip away. But if you don't do half of it, it's not as much, right? So keep up, and be decisive about what you're gonna do. And yeah, the next topic is, don't evaluate. I hope there's no typos. Don't evaluate in the middle of schedule. Yeah, this is the continuation of the last two. See, when you're For example, let's say 3 months. When you're 2 weeks into it, okay, or like 3 weeks, or like not even that much, usually happens after 4 days, right? When you're 4 days into something, and you've done like 8 hours of active work to create content, and you'll be like, I gotta keep up it. I gotta keep this up for like next 80 something days, and still in 3 months, nothing is guaranteed. In fact, it's very unlikely to anything to happen in 3 months. So, do not evaluate anything. Okay, don't sit down and be like, okay, what I'm doing right now. See, and the thing you're doing at that time is big. See, if it's an actual work, you're not gonna want to do it. Okay, so when that stuff happens, you think you're gonna sit down, evaluate, see like what you're doing, and it actually seems like it feels good. Usually, you're going to see like what results you got, and you go there and you see there's nothing, and you evaluate something, basically nothing, and then doubt creeps in, and you'd be like, I've done all this for nothing. To be more clear, finish what you start. If it's 3 months, if it's a month, if it's 2 weeks, if it's a certain amount, be decisive at that point when you're setting that amount, okay? Don't evaluate anything in the middle of that thing. Be decisive. If there's anything to evaluate, do it at the start. When you're saying that I'm going to do 2 hours, first, make that 2 hour decision based off something concrete. Not that you just want to do 2 hours. You would be happy if you could do 2 hours. That doesn't work. So yeah, don't evaluate anything in the middle of the schedule. And yeah, and then after you hit a certain milestone, for example, after end of that 3 months, it's very unlikely that something incredible happens in that period of time. Especially if we're talking about consistency, it means that we're just starting out, right? So yeah, it's very unlikely to anything happen. Yeah, if all of a sudden in like a 2 months mark you got like 100,000 followers, well, congrats. Yeah, just sit down and see what's going on. Yeah, you should evaluate in that position. But yeah, if you got like 70 followers, keep posting. You should keep posting instead of just seeing what's going on. Now you're talking about analytics and just stuff, and that doesn't even, you shouldn't even thinking about that stuff. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense in that amount of like a very small amount of data. So yeah, there's that. Next one is check possibilities and decide. This is basically a very friendly reminder of the first couple things, just being decisive. This is something that I overlooked a lot of times. You plan something, you go through it, and you go half-ass. That's just not a very healthy way to do anything. So yeah, this is my last piece of resource that I use to be consistent, and that is check all the possibilities. If it's gonna be hard, if it's gonna be something's gonna happen in the university, in a school, or anything that is possible, try to come up with it, any like the worst case scenario, okay, and then find a way to deal with it, and then you can decide. So if that 2 hours is your plan, then you know that it is your plan, and the only thing remains is that you have to do it. That's it. And you know that by doing it, it's gonna be all good. But if you don't check the possibilities and you just straight up say 2 hours, okay, let's go tomorrow. After a couple of days, more likely than not, you're gonna feel, as I said, that it's too much work for very little results. So yeah, check the possibilities, and at the end of it, decide very concrete decision for your content creation. This was specifically for content creation but it can be applied to anything else, anything. But the decisiveness part of it is very important, because creating content is something, especially if you're starting out, it's something that uh, there's a lot of pain in the ass when you're just starting out. So and there is no clear ROI, you know. It seems like you're putting too much effort. So yeah, if you're doing it all on your own, this is how you do it. Even if you're getting help, someone edits your videos or anything, this is still helps. Being decisive is good, okay? And this is something that I lacked, and I wanted to just share with you that so you don't. This is a trap. You might fall into it. So yeah. And also, if you have resources, for example, aka money, you can work with agencies. That also works. That's a very tangible option. And yep, that's it.